Hey, welcome back to Ping Pong Flicks. My name is Chris Wong. Justice League has probably reached over $500 million so far worldwide. 92 million in China alone. Now, some of you have probably looking at Box Office Mojo to see if I'm correct. They're going to probably see a lower number. Of course, you will see a lower number. Box Office Mojo does not update their international markets, their foreign markets, till the end of the weekend. By Monday, then that will update itself. You have to actually go to like a Chinese box office, convert that yuan to dollars, to US dollars, to actually see that figure. And you have to go to each international market to do that. I have some people to help me do that, but they have not replied back to me yet, so I don't know what's going on. I'll be as clueless as you are until Monday. But for that reason, I still think that Justice League will do not too bad in the box office. It may reach 700, it may not, I don't know, but it's not a complete bomb. Complete bombs are like if you lose a ton of money. Like, say if this is a $300 million movie and it only made $100 million tops, that's a complete failure. Zero, it was total failure. But this is not a bomb at all. It's going to either break even, make a little bit, or make just a little lower than that. But anyway, that's a different subject altogether. I want to talk about if the WB or DC should reboot this universe. And a lot of people are out there talking about that as well. I personally do not think they need to reboot. Okay, I personally think that this universe could survive, and there are several factors that have to come to fruition in order for that to be true. The number one thing that Warner Brothers or DC has to do is get that diseased maniac Kevin Tsujihara out. Get him out. Give him a box, pack his things, security escort him out of the building, out. Completely out. And every leader who has accepted his decision, who was behind his decision to make Justice League from a 3-hour to a 2-hour cut, and to cut it to death, and to actually rush the movie before it was even completed so he could get a grimy bonus check, that guy's gotta go. Him and everybody else who supported that decision. That's the first thing that should happen, and I hope it happens soon. The other things that should happen is that Aquaman has to be a financial, critically well-received, audience-approved success. Aquaman's the only movie coming next year, end of December. They have a full whole year to get their stuff together to make sure they all have one vision and not many people cooking in this pot. They all have to come together, unite, and say, this is the direction we're going to go. And from here on out, Aquaman, Shazam, then Wonder Woman 2, they all have to be critically approved, audience well received, and financially successful. And that don't even have to be like the 90s. They can be in the 70s. They could be like a B plus, a cinema score, or A. But the money has to show a gradual increase in domestic markets. Foreign, I think we're going to be okay. But I think that it has to all work out. And then it'll be well received, and then we'll be okay. I still think Wonder Woman 2 will be okay in the long run. That is actually more of a feminist movement, and I don't mean that lightly. I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a positive way. It's great. It's a woman-led film. It's a woman-directed film, and it's Wonder Woman. Okay, so I think women are going to come out, and families are going to come out in droves to watch this film. But Aquaman has to be great. Shazam has to be great. And with Shazam, if Superman's in it, that's even better. There's going to put a new light. It's going to add to Superman's legacy, and maybe we'll even have a Superman afterwards. But I think that we don't need to reboot this film. We don't need to change everybody out. We don't need to recast everybody. Because the one thing that most people agree with in the reviews for Justice League, even though they pandered it, even though they talked about how bad the story is, how bad the villain was, the one thing that came out that most of you have said that The characters work. The heroes work. They work together. They work side by side together, and generally approved characters. So if the characters work, we can take those characters beyond and put them in better stories, put them in better scenarios, put them in better movies. And I think if that works, then the DCEU, the DCCU, the DC films, whatever it is, can work. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think they should reboot it? Do you think that they should just scrap it all together? Fire every single one, including Jeff Johns? Or do you think maybe there's still a light of hope in the end of the tunnel, and that we could certainly keep going with this current iteration or this new direction that they are doing from the Justice League? Also, just to put a little sidewinder to that, is that they have a whole year until Aquaman, and if maybe they think that maybe the Zack Snyder cut actually would have worked, that they'll actually release something in the next 6 months, and that release is the Snyder cut to move them back into the direction where it should have been. That is in a perfect world for me. I don't think that's going to happen, but dreams could come true. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.